Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourself, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Jai Hind, your daily boost. Tithi Nakshatra and important anniversaries, a spiritual and historical insight of 17th January 2025, Friday. Bengali date, 3 Magh 1431. As per Beniwadavshil Pondika, today's Tithi is Krishna Tritiya and up to 0433 hours and after that Krishna Chaturthi. Today's Nakshatra is Magha Nakshatra and up to 1337 hours and after that Purva Falguni Nakshatra. Today is 17th day of the year. There are then 348 days left in 2025. Today is 3rd Friday of 2025. Today is Sakat Chauth. Krishna Paksha Chaturthi is dedicated to Lord Ganesha and devotees observe Sankashti Chaturthi, fasting on each Krishna Paksha Chaturthi. However, Krishna Paksha Chaturthi during month of Magha is also observed as Sakat Chauth and it is observed mainly in North Indian states. Sakat Chauth is dedicated to goddess Sakat and women observe fasting on the very same day for well-being of their sons. The legend of Sakat Chauth describes compassionate nature of goddess Sakat. There is Sakat village in Rajasthan and it has temple dedicated to goddess Sankat. The deity is famous as Sankat Chauth Mata. This temple is about 60 km from Alwar and 150 km from Jaipur, the state capital of Rajasthan. One can visit Sakat Mata temple to get more information on Sakat goddess. On Sakat Chauth, Lord Ganesha is also worshipped. Worshipping Lord Ganesha on this day brings happiness and prosperity. Sakat Chauth is also known as Sankat Chauth, Tilkut Chauth, Bhakratundi Chaturthi, and Maghi Chauth. Today is International Mentoring Day. International Mentoring Day is celebrated every year on January 17th. This day honors the power of mentoring and its ability to bring about positive change in people's lives. The day is also an opportunity to highlight the importance of mentors in personal and professional development. International Mentoring Day was created to coincide with the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a leader whose life exemplified the values of mentorship, education, and empowerment. The day encourages sharing stories about mentoring relationships and raising awareness of the role mentorship plays in fostering growth and building communities. Today is International We Are Not Broken Day. We observe International We Are Not Broken Day on January 17th. The day creates awareness about the fact that despite what society thinks of individuals with a history of physical and emotional trauma, mental illness, amputations, or disorders that seem invisible, they are human beings and our neighbors. Today is National Kid Inventors Day. National Kid Inventors Day is celebrated on January 17th each year. It honors the creativity of children and encourages them to be curious and inventive. The day also commemorates the birthday of Benjamin Franklin, a child inventor who created the first swimming flippers at age 11. National Kid Inventor Day marks a celebration of young students who are applying STEAM principles and critical thinking skills to creatively solve real-world problems that they witness in their own lives and communities. Today is Cable Car Day. Cable Car Day is celebrated annually on January 17 to honor the creation of the cable car system, an iconic form of transportation. The day recognizes the innovation and history behind cable cars, which have become a symbol of engineering brilliance and an important part of many cities' heritage. The day marks the anniversary of the first successful cable car patent granted to Andrew Smith, LED, on January 17, 1871. LED, a British American engineer, implemented his design in San Francisco, California. The first operational cable car system began there in 1873. Cable cars revolutionized transportation, especially in hilly cities, by providing a safe and efficient way to travel. Today is International Fetish Day. International Fetish Day is a day supporting the BDSM community. It originated in the United Kingdom as National Fetish Day and was first held on 21st January 2008. The first International Fetish Day was held on 16th January 2009, the third Friday of the year. The main purpose of International Fetish Day is to increase awareness and support of the fetish community, whilst also opposing the UK law criminalizing possession of extreme pornography. It is also designed to encourage members of the community to be more open about their sexuality. Today is Disappearance Day of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, 17 January 1941. The disappearance of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on 17 January 1941 is a significant and intriguing event in Indian history. This day marks the beginning of his daring escape from house arrest in Kolkata, then Calcutta, to eventually seek foreign support for India's independence struggle during World War II. The escape from Kolkata. Subhash Chandra Bose was under house arrest by the British colonial government at his ancestral home in Kolkata due to his revolutionary activities. On the night of 17 January 1941, he disguised himself as a Muslim insurance agent named Muhammad Ziauddin and left the house secretly. What happened on January 17, 1941? Bose escaped from his Elgin Road home in Calcutta with his nephew Sisir Kumar Bose. Bose took a car to Gomo railway station in Bihar, now Jharkhand. Bose bade farewell to his family. What happened after the escape? Bose went to Afghanistan and then Russia. Bose met with Nazi leaders in Germany. Bose set up an Indian legion in Berlin. Bose went to Singapore in July 1943. Bose formed the Azad Hind Fauj with Raspberry Bose. Bose announced the formation of the Azad Hind government and the Indian National Army on October 21, 1943. Today is death anniversary of Miss Gohar Jan, 26 June 1873 to 17 January 1930. Gohar Jan, born Angelina Howard, was an Indian singer and dancer from Kolkata. She was one of the first performers to record music on 78 RPM records in India, which was later released by the Gramophone Company of India and resulted in her being known as the Gramophone Girl and the first recording superstar of India, having recorded more than 600 songs in more than 10 languages between 1902 and 1920. Jan is credited with popularizing Hindustani classical music such as Thumri, Dadra, Kajri, and Taranas during the period. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Jyoti Basu, 8th July 1914 to 17th January 2010. Jyoti Basu was an Indian Marxist theorist, communist activist, and politician. He was one of the most prominent leaders of communist movement in India. He served as the sixth and longest serving Chief Minister of West Bengal from 1977 to 2000. He was one of the founding members of the Communist Party of India, Marxist. He was the member of Politburo of the party since its formation in 1964 till 2008. He was also the member of West Bengal Legislative Assembly 11 times. In his political career, spanning over 7 decades, he was noted to have been the India's largest serving chief minister in an elected democracy. At the time of his resignation, he declined the post of prime minister after the 1996 Indian general election, after the CPM refused to let him head a multi-party coalition as he would not be able to implement Marxist programs and relinquished the prime ministership to Deve Gowda. Today is death anniversary of Miss Suchitra Sen, 6th April 1931 to 17th January 2014. Suchitra Sen, born Roma Dasgupta, widely known as the Mahanayika, was a great actress, was an Indian actress who worked in Bengali and Hindi cinema. The movies in which she was paired opposite Uttam Kumar became classics in the history of Bengali cinema. Sen was the first Indian actress to receive an award at an international film festival when at the 1963 Moscow International Film Festival. She won the Silver Prize for Best Actress for Saath Pake Badha. She was catapulted to stardom after she was cast as Vishnupriya by Devaki Kumar Bose in his Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chaitanya 1953. In 1972, she was awarded the Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian award in India. From 1979 on, she retreated from public life and shunned all forms of public contact. For this, she is often compared to Greta Garbo. In 2005, she refused the Dadasaheb Phalke Award, the highest cinematic award in India, to stay out of the public eye. In 2012, she was conferred the West Bengal government's highest honor, Bongo Vibhushan. Her first official release was Sukumar Das Gupta's Sat Number Koedi, 1953. Today is death anniversary of Miss Geeta De, 5th August 1931 to 17th January 2011. Geeta De was an Indian actress in Bengali cinema, theatre and Bengali folk theatre. She became a stage artist at the age of 6 years. She became she came to the film industry in 1943. Her first film release was Ahuti, 1941, as a child actress. She acted in over 200 Bengali language films and over 2000 stage shows. She acted in the movie Tin Kanna by Satyajit Ray and Ritik Ghatak's Meghe Dhaka Tara, Suborno Rekha, Komal Gandhar, and Koto Ajanare. She also acted in Hindi movies such as Purinita 2005 with Vidya Balan, Sanjay Dutt, and other movies. She was associated with All India Radio for a long time doing Shruti Natok. She received the Presidential Award for Lifetime Achievement from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and many other awards during her lifetime. Today is birth anniversary of Muhammad Ali, 17 January 1942 to 3rd June 2016. Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., was an American professional boxer and activist, a global cultural icon, widely known by the epithet "the greatest." He is frequently cited as the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. He held the Ring magazine heavyweight title from 1964 to 1970, was the undisputed champion from 1974 to 1978, and was the WBA and Ring heavyweight champion from 1978 to 1979. In 1999, he was named Sportsman of the Century by Sports Illustrated and the Sports Personality of the Century by the BBC. Born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, he began training as an amateur boxer at age 12. At 18, he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics and turned professional later that year. He joined the Nation of Islam in the early 1960s, but later disavowed it in the mid 1970s. He won the World Heavyweight Championship, defeating Sonny Liston in a major upset on February 25, 1964, at age 22. During that year, he denounced his birth name as a slave name and formally changed his name to Muhammad Ali. In 1967, Ali refused to be drafted into the military owing to his religious beliefs and ethical opposition to the Vietnam War, and was found guilty of draft evasion and stripped of his boxing titles. He stayed out of prison while appealing the decision to the Supreme Court, where his conviction was overturned in 1971. He did not fight for nearly 4 years and lost a period of peak performance as an athlete. Ali's actions as a conscientious objector to the Vietnam War made him an icon for the larger counterculture of the 1960s generation and became a prominent, high-profile figure of racial pride for African Americans during the civil rights movement and throughout his career. He fought in several historic boxing matches, including his highly publicized fights with Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, including the fight of the century, the biggest boxing event up until then, the Thrilla in Manila, and his fight with George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle. All thrived in the spotlight at a time when many boxers led their managers to do the talking, and he became renowned for his provocative and outlandish persona. He was famous for trash talking, open freestyle with rhymes, skins, and spoken word poetry, and has been recognized as a pioneer in hip hop. He often predicted in which round he would knock out his opponent. As a boxer, Ali was known for his unorthodox movement, fancy footwork, head movement, and rope-a-dope technique, among others. Outside boxing, Ali attained success as a spoken word artist, releasing two studio albums, I Am the Greatest, 1963, and The Adventure of Ali and His Gang versus Mr. Tooth Decay, 1976. Both albums received Grammy Award nominations. He also featured as an actor and writer, releasing two autobiographies. Ali retired from boxing in 1981 and focused on religion, philanthropy, and activism. In 1984, he made public his diagnosis of Parkinson's syndrome, with some reports attributed to boxing-related injuries, though he and his specialist physicians disputed this. He remained an active public figure globally, but in his later years made fewer public appearances as his condition worsened and was cared for by his family. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Benjamin Franklin, 17th January 1706 to 17th April 1790. Benjamin Franklin was an American polymath, a writer, scientist, inventor, statesman, diplomat, printer, publisher, and political philosopher. Among the most influential intellectuals of his time, Franklin was one of the founding fathers of the United States, a drafter and signer of the Declaration of Independence, and the first Postmaster General. Franklin became a successful newspaper editor and printer in Philadelphia, the leading city in the colonies, publishing the Pennsylvania Gazette at age 23. He became wealthy publishing this and Poor Richard's Almanac, which he wrote under the pseudonym Richard Saunders. After 1767, he was associated with the Pennsylvania Chronicle, a newspaper known for its revolutionary sentiments and criticisms of the policies of the British Parliament and the Crown. He pioneered and was the first president of the Academy and College of Philadelphia, which opened in 1751 and later became the University of Pennsylvania. He organized and was the first secretary of the American Philosophical Society and was elected its president in 1769. He was appointed Deputy Postmaster General for the British colonies in 1753, which enabled him to set up the first national communications network. He was active in community affairs and colonial and state politics, as well as national and international affairs. Franklin became a hero in America when, as an agent in London for several colonies, he spearheaded the repeal of the unpopular Stamp Act by the British Parliament. An accomplished diplomat, he was widely admired as the first US ambassador to France and was a major figure in the development of positive Franco-American relations. His efforts proved vital in securing French aid for the American Revolution. From 1785 to 1788, he served as president of Pennsylvania. At some points in his life, he owned slaves and ran for sale ads for slaves in his newspaper. But by the late 1750s, he began arguing against slavery, became an active abolitionist, and promoted the education and integration of African Americans into US society. As a scientist, his studies of electricity made him a major figure in the American Enlightenment and the history of physics. He also charted and named the Gulf Stream current. His numerous important inventions include the lightning rod, bifocals, glass, harmonica, and the Franklin stove. He founded many civic organizations, including the Library Company, Philadelphia's first fire department, and the University of Pennsylvania. Franklin earned the title of the first American for his early and indefatigable campaigning for colonial unity. He was the only person to sign the Declaration of Independence, Treaty of Paris, peace with Britain, and Constitution, foundational in defining the American ethos. Franklin has been called the most accomplished American of his age and the most influential in inventing the type of society America would become. His life and legacy of scientific and political achievement and his status as one of America's most influential founding fathers have seen Franklin honored for more than 2 centuries after his death on the $100 bill and in the names of warships. Many towns and counties, educational institutions and corporations, as well as in the numerous cultural references and a portrait in the Oval Office. His more than 30,000 letters and documents have been collected in the papers of Benjamin Franklin. Anne Robert Jacques Turgot said of him, Eri Puit Fulmen Coelho, Mox Spectra Tyrannis. He snatched lightning from the sky and scepter from the tyrants. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Bobby Fischer, 9th March 1943 to 17th January 2008. Robert James Fischer was an American chess grandmaster and the 11th world chess champion. A chess prodigy, he won his first of a record 8 US championships at the age of 14. In 1964, he won with an 11-0 score, the only perfect score in the history of the tournament. Qualifying for the 1972 World Championship, Fischer swept matches with Mark Taimanov and Bent Larsen by 6-0 scores. After winning another qualifying match against Tigran Petrosyan, Fischer won the title match against Boris Spassky of the USSR. In Reykjavik, Iceland, publicized as a Cold War confrontation between the US and the USSR. The match attracted more worldwide interest than any Test championship before or since. 1975, Fischer refused to defend his title when an agreement could not be reached with FIDE, chess's international governing body, over the match conditions. Consequently, the Soviet challenger Anatoly Karpov was named world champion by default. Fischer subsequently disappeared from the public eye, through occasional reports of erratic behavior emerged. In 1992, he re-emerged to win an unofficial rematch against Spassky. It was held in Yugoslavia, which was under a United Nations embargo at the time. His participation led to a conflict with the US government, which warned Fischer that his participation in the match would violate an executive order imposing US sanctions on Yugoslavia. The US government ultimately issued a warrant for his arrest. Subsequently, Fischer lived as an emigre. In 2004, he was arrested in Japan and held for several months for using a passport that the US government had revoked. Eventually, he was granted Icelandic citizenship by a special act of the Icelandic parliament, allowing him to live there until his death in 2008. Fischer made numerous lasting contributions to chess. His book, My 60 Memorable Games, published in 1969, is regarded as essential reading in chess literature. In the 1990s, he patented a modified chess timing system that added a time increment after each move, now a standard practice in top tournament and match play. He also invented Fischer random chess, also known as Chess 960, a chess variant in which the initial position of the pieces is randomized to one of 960 possible positions. Fischer made numerous anti-Semitic statements, including Holocaust denial, despite his Jewish ancestry. His anti-Semitism was a major theme in his public and private remarks, and there has been speculation concerning his psychological condition based on his extreme views and eccentric behavior. Thank you very much for your patience.